Tuesday. Yay! That's right. July 7th, 2026. I am Peaches. If you want to get a hold of me, you can over at 208-535-1015. I almost gave out the Z103 phone number because now I have to differentiate between two different shows. In case you haven't heard, I'm afternoons here on K-Bear, of course. I'm also afternoons on Z103 as my real name, Brendan Peach. This might be news to some people, but since my last name is Peach, legitimately, that's why I'm called Peaches here on K-Bear. Of course, the music bed had to stop for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe because I'm doing this show in the Z103 studio and I'm trying to access K-Bear beds, and Victor himself is in the K-Bear studio, so there's that going on too. Anyway, I saw this post on Reddit's unpopular opinion, and I figured, why not start off the show with something controversial, huh? The poster thinks competitive eating is gross and should not be considered a sport. They write, it's kind of disgusting to have a group of people lined up like pigs in a trough, just shoving food in their mouths at high speed, filling themselves with insane amounts of food, or even in pie eating contests, they will have their faces down in the pie. If people like that, it's fine, but calling it a sport is a bit much, which I wholeheartedly disagree with. Competitive eating, I mean, if you look at Joey Chestnut, and you look at one of the best golfers of all time, that is John Daly, who looks more like an athlete, huh? Phil Mickelson. Who looks more like an athlete between Joey Chestnut and Phil Mickelson? I would love to see Joey Chestnut take on anybody, any one of those golfers. I think Tiger Woods would be like the only one. There's a few young golfers out there that are quite athletic. For what reason, I don't know, because they're playing golf. Like, I hate to say it, golf is just an expensive hobby. I have plenty of friends that play golf. Maybe I should race them myself. Get all my 40-year-old friends that play golf in their free time and just have them race against me. I know most of them would lose, and I'm not the fastest person. Definitely not the fastest. I run like Bowser, all right? And I know I could beat most of them in a race. So you can't tell me there's any athletic ability in golf other than, hey, you need to swing this club, this driver. If people can pick it up, if people can play golf legitimately post like 40 years old, it's not really a sport, okay? I'm sorry. Competitive eating, like, sure, it is gross. I mean, have you ever watched the Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contest? You see them dunking these hot dogs in giant cups of water, and they're just downing the glizzies and the buns, all drenched with water, all soaked, wet bread going right in their mouths. It's disgusting to look at. My mom nearly throws up every year. But we have to watch it because it's sort of a 4th of July tradition, right? I just can't imagine sitting down and watching golf on TV. If you're telling me to either watch the Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contest or golf, I'm going to choose the hot dog eating contest every single time. Joey Chestnut, he's the greatest of all time. He has downed, 75 hot dogs in 10 minutes? You're telling me that's not athletic at all? I would say his trip to the bathroom afterward is even more athletic than golf. All right, I know I riled up a few people with this break. I'll stop talking about it. It's Peach's Pit Party right here on K-Bear 101. So all of these people have come to the United States for the World Cup, and most of them are visiting the U.S. for the very first time, and it was quite a shock for most of them on what we eat, what we do, etc. So I saw this question pop up on Ask Reddit. People who visited the USA for the first time, what was the biggest shock you got? And the top response here, I asked visiting cousins from Australia what they found most surprising. They said that school buses are real. They thought they were basically a movie/TV trope. In Australia, school children generally take the same ordinary public transport, trains, buses, that everybody else does. They're easy to identify because of the uniforms. I never rode the bus growing up. My parents always took me. I was quite shocked hearing people talk about their stories on the bus, just because my parents took me. No matter what, my parents took me to school, picked me up from school. Never once took the bus, unless it was like a field trip or something. Or in high school, I would take the bus to basketball games, to other schools. The size of Lake Michigan apparently was the biggest shock for some people. I asked other passengers what ocean we were flying over. This person said, I came from a small island. The fact you can drive in a straight line for hours is so weird. Wait till that person visits, like, I don't know, Ryrie, where it's just like a basic grid. I thought that was quite shocking. You can drive in a straight line for a long time and then eventually have to take a right, then drive in a straight line for a very long time to get where you need to go. If you're just now tuning in, we're talking about people who visited the USA for the first time. What was the biggest shock you got? I remember going to Lake Michigan. It was the first time I actually saw a lake that looked like an ocean. It even had beaches. It was a very nice surprise to me. How difficult it was to exist without a car. I could see the store from my hotel, but there was no pavement, no safe crossing, and a 6-lane road between us. It was all physically close, somehow a 20-minute drive away. When my family and I vacationed to Boston, and they walk everywhere over there in the New England area, they would tell us, like, oh, it's just a 5-minute walk to get to this place. It wasn't. It was like 30 minutes. We got so many steps in. You know, it's one of the worst walkable cities. I don't know how my friend Matt is doing it. San Francisco. San Francisco is full of hills. It sucks. It's expensive. It's just riddled with, I don't know, disgustingness. Like San Francisco and Oakland, both those cities just literally and also just overall stink. All right. There's me trashing those cities again. Didn't I just spend a whole show last week making fun of New York and Oakland? I'll stop. I'm sorry. Here's Shinedown, Yun again on Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101. I guess everybody is just sharing their unpopular opinion online because we started off the show talking about how this one guy was like, competitive eating's not a sport. Well, now, in that same subreddit, unpopular opinion, that it just popped up right here on my feed, and, well, of course, it's blowing up because there are a lot of people who are big fans of The Office. I've tried watching that show. To me, those shows are not funny. I just can't do it. The Office, Big Bang Theory, Friends, none of it is funny to me. Not saying I have an elite sense of humor, just that it's not. They're not funny to me. This guy goes on to say, everyone needs to let The Office go. I don't just mean the fans, the actors too. We got Office podcasts, Office commercials, the actors on the internet recreating scenes like a decade later. I know there's never a full consensus in matters of taste, but good Lord, it wasn't that good, and near none of them have done anything noteworthy since. Just let it go. Parks and Rec was way funnier is what this person wrote. I watched the entirety of Parks and Rec because at the time I had all my friends were watching it, so I was like, sure, I'll give it a try. And there were some like moments like that where I laughed like that, but I was never like on the floor laughing like some people said the Parks and Rec was just so funny. All of those actors went on to better things after. A few stragglers aside, I just don't get the hype so many years later. I mean, when it comes to acting, you either get your lucky chance at different roles or you don't. I mean, Steve Carell of The Office, obviously one of the biggest actors out there. Does he have a bigger career than Chris Pratt? I mean, I feel like they're neck and neck. All the stuff Steve Carell has done. I mean, Steve Carell is older. Let's see. Steve Carell. What has he done? I mean, I know some of his stuff, like Despicable Me, Rooster, The 40-Year-Old, I don't know if I can say that word on the air, Crazy Stupid Love, Evan Almighty, Beautiful Boy, The Four Seasons, Bruce Almighty. He was also in Anchorman. I don't know. I feel like Steve Carell has a bigger career than Chris Pratt. All right, let's see. Chris Pratt. Guardians of the Galaxy, Jurassic World. I mean, Chris Pratt is 47. Steve Carell is 63. So I feel like Steve Carell also has the age over Chris Pratt. So, I mean, the thing is that overall, like, I completely understand where this person's coming from. Because I am also sick and tired of seeing this office stuff popping up on my YouTube. But the thing is that all that stuff keeps making money. I mean, people love the show. People will continue to support anything revolving around the show. It would be dumb to stop doing it. Really, it would. I mean, look at Star Wars. Look what's happening to that. So many movies, so many TV shows, so much merch because Disney wants to milk the most money out of it. If you're applying for jobs right now, here's one piece of advice that keeps coming up. Don't just list what you did, show what you accomplished. Career experts say resumes that highlight real results, like increasing sales, saving money, improving a process, or leading a project, stand out a lot more, especially now that AI is helping companies screen these applications. Instead of saying managed social media, say something like grew social media engagement by 40%. Those numbers make a difference. And if you're looking for your next opportunity, check out HireEastIdaho.com. This week's Hire East Idaho Job of the Week is with Rosemark Women Care Specialists, an OB/GYN office in Idaho Falls that specializes in caring for women through every stage of life. They're hiring a full-time licensed practical nurse or certified medical assistant. Benefits include PTO, paid holidays, a 401k, health, dental, vision insurance, plus HSA and FSA options. Pay depends on your skill and experience. Apply today at HireEastIdaho.com, where you'll also find hundreds of other opportunities from employers across East Idaho. Hire East Idaho, connecting people with opportunity. The longest running record in women's swimming has finally been broken. Three-time Olympic champion Summer McIntosh set a new record for the 200-meter butterfly during the Canadian trials. McIntosh swam in 2 minutes, 1.65 seconds, which broke the record of 2 minutes and 1.81 seconds, set back in October of 2009 by China's Lu. Oh, how do you say this last name? Is it Ziggy? I don't know. Zige. Her record swim came just months before a ban on the polyurethane supersuits that helped swimmers set more than 100 new world records in 2008 and 2009. The NBA is trying out a new type of free throw at the Las Vegas Summer League, which starts on Thursday. All fouls that would typically result in multiple free throws will now lead to just one free throw. If a player is fouled and makes their shot, they would still take just one shot at the line. The new twist comes into play when a player is fouled in the process of taking a 2-point field goal and they miss. They would then be awarded one free throw that is worth 2 points. That also applies to fouls called when a team is over the limit on fouls in a quarter, while fouls on 3-point attempts would be one shot for 3 points. The traditional NBA free throw rules will still apply during the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and throughout overtime. In baseball, the Colorado Rockies are the worst team in the National League again this season. But they are in first in one category, the team with the worst reputation among MLB players. The Athletic polled over 100 MLB players. 28 of them picked the Rockies as the worst organization, followed by the Pirates and the Athletics. No surprise there. One player said that the Rockies were behind on everything analytically. I've seen the way they do their business as a whole, and they make a lot of decisions where I'm like, what are you doing? That's what one player said. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. K-Bear 101, Idaho's only rock station. For the longest time growing up, I always thought driving a stick shift was a completely unnecessary way to drive. Almost all the cars out there now are automatic. There's no need to do all this additional crap just to get your car to do the same thing when you're barely just doing anything when driving an automatic. Now, of course, this had to come out. A new study out of Japan says driving a stick shift is actually good for your brain, because you're doing all this excess stuff. Using the clutch, shifting gears, constantly deciding which gear to be in gives your brain a bigger workout than driving an automatic. Again, you're thinking about all this stuff, doing all this excess stuff just to do the same thing I'm doing in my automatic. The study was led by the neuroscientist behind Nintendo's Brain Age games. Every manual transmission driver is now going to become even more insufferable. They're going to be like the Tool listener after this study, going like, I'm exercising my brain. You're a simpleton for driving automatic. My friend Bobby growing up was supposed to teach me how to do it. He would have been the worst teacher. I'm glad he didn't. He was one of those dudes that whenever he tried to teach you something, he would just make fun of you for being dumb. So if I were to try to drive his 1972 Datsun 240Z at the time, it would have been just a complete and utter like meltdown between the both of us fighting the entire time. He ended up crashing the car. So at least it wasn't me that did that. It was a sweet car, though. I do miss that thing. It was so funny. Driving that thing around Huntington Beach, and I was in the passenger seat, two dudes that are above 6'4", getting out of this tiny little vehicle, and he's trying his best to impress the ladies. He's driving down Main Street, Huntington Beach, revving the engine, but of course, all these old dudes come out. Oh, I used to drive one of those things back in the day. There were no women in sight, only old dudes appreciating his car. Here's Shinedown, Safe and Sound on K-Bear 101. All right, let's just go with this because it popped up right there, right as I refreshed Reddit. What's a hobby you'll never understand? The shoe sneaker game, trading, collecting, investing in. It does get out of hand, not going to lie. I used to be that guy that wanted a whole bunch of sneakers. Now that I live on my own and I have to pay my bills, obviously, I don't remember the last time I bought myself a nice pair of shoes. Usually they get gifted to me by my parents. I used to go to Ross quite a lot because they were the only store that had my size. Now I'm just like, you know what? Let me get a nice, comfortable pair, and I'll wear that same pair everywhere I go. I have these red running shoes that I've been using for my walking activities. Like on my lunch break, I'll go for a walk. At night, sometimes I'll walk the green belt, get my 10,000 steps in every day in order to keep this weight loss thing going. And I looked at the side of my right shoe and I realized there's a hole. Like the fabric came off and you can see my sock. And I'm like, oh boy. That means pretty soon I'll have to spend like what, $150 to $200 on a brand new pair of running shoes. I'm not looking forward to that. Got to use the credit card. Got to pay it off. Maybe I can go to Ross, find some stuff. You know, for the longest time, I've also wanted a pair of Hey Dudes. Just to have a nice, comfortable pair of shoes. I have these black slip-ons that sometimes I wear if I want to be leisure. If I want to wear leisure around the office. If I want to be nice and comfortable around the office. I'll put on the black slip-ons. Look at me talking about shoes on Peach's Pit Party. What's a hobby you'll never understand? Cave anything. Mining for cool rocks and gems, that would be pretty cool, but I will never understand those people that squeeze through those tiny, barely accessible caves. Is that called spelunking? They just do that for fun? Oh, there's competitive eating / mukbang. Going back to that first break of the entire show. Mukbangs are so funny because they're just people eating on YouTube. And sure enough, some of them make a ton of money just sitting there eating all the food they want. You ever sat down and ate lunch by yourself and you're like, man, I wish I could use some company. You turn on one of those mukbang videos and you feel better about yourself because you see like sometimes the fattest person eating the most food, and you're like, wow, maybe my Taco Bell order isn't all that bad. Obviously, those self-driving cars still have a few things to learn. We've seen the videos pop up online. The latest one that I saw over the 4th of July weekend, a Waymo robo-taxi in San Francisco literally drove through an exploding firework while passengers were inside. You can hear the people in the car yelling, no, 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 don't go. But the car just kept going. Nobody was hurt, obviously. The passengers were okay. But Waymo says it's reviewing what happened. Now, I still get a good laugh out of every time I think about Waymo making its way to Southeast Idaho, because people complain about enough as it is online. I mean, there are still people talking about the fireworks, the loud explosions in the Life in Idaho Falls Facebook group. Could you imagine the videos that we would get from these old people that have never experienced anything close to this before? Someone records like their weird uncle in the back of a Waymo, and he's like screaming his head off. He's holding on for dear life. I don't want no robot driving me. He's trying to get out of the Waymo while it's going 40 down Sunnyside. Wouldn't that be the funniest thing? All these people just freaking out. I can't help but laugh every single time I think about it. I found one of the wildest things online. There's actually a new prediction market where people can speculate on where wildfires will happen and how they'll spread. Critics calling it a terrible idea because they're worried it would create the wrong incentives, like some jerk out there betting all of his savings on the fact that there will be this wildfire in Southern California. He's the one that secretly starts it and goes, look, I'm making money. Especially with something as destructive as a wildfire. Right now, it's only offering simulated trading, but the concept has already sparked a lot of backlash. Okay, they did not need to use the word sparked in this article talking about wildfire betting. I love the headline, too. I love how they're making jokes about it. Southern California wildfire betting site sparks arson fears as blazes spread. I mean, obviously, you should not start a wildfire. I can't believe that has to be a message because, Smokey the Bear entirely exists for wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires. This is so stupid. Just betting money, hoping that a wildfire happens. That's insane. Peach's Pit Party right here on K-Bear 101. We were just talking about Smokey the Bear. Is it Smokey the Bear or just Smokey Bear? Because I could have sworn it was Smokey the Bear. Bear was not his last name. This Florida man is accused of stealing Smokey Bear signs, Smokey the Bear signs, and he could face up to 10 years in prison. Out of all the government property to steal, this dude picked the one literally famous for warning people against making bad decisions. He was trying to sell them online. I mean, if that's your side hustle, man, just don't get caught, you know? Investigators say they caught him with the stolen signs in July of last year after he tried to sell them on Facebook Marketplace for nearly $2,000 each. The Smokey Bear signs were taken from state forests between Pensacola and Orlando. Okay, why is this popping up now? Did he just go to trial for it? Is that what happened? Happened last year? What's funny is the picture that comes with this article, because apparently the Smokey the Bear mascot decided to make an appearance as this guy was getting arrested. No joke. The picture is Smokey the Bear holding the door open, the back of the police car open for this officer to put this dude in handcuffs in the back seat. And of course, Smokey the Bear is giving the thumbs up. Could you imagine that? You're getting arrested. One of the last people you see when you have freedom, Smokey the Bear, sort of taunting you. Anyway, here's Violent Vera, False Reaction on K-Bear 101. Back on the crappy mic. It's the one, the only FJ.
Hello.
AKA Jeff. We're in the Z103 studio. That microphone is absolutely awful. But you know how streamers, they'll sometimes intentionally have a really bad microphone?
Why would they do that?
Just to do it for the meme, I guess.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to find somebody who's doing that just to see what they sound like.
There are those people that have really bad mics even in radio, too. Like, have you ever listened to K-Rock?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, there's that one producer that will sometimes pitch in or pipe in from the other studio.
And he's just got a terrible microphone.
Yeah. I think that started with Baba Booey, Gary Delabate, because he had a microphone in that other studio, and it sounded awful.
And now we have this one.
Yeah, maybe we should have you just have a microphone in your office. So that way, if you ever wanted to pitch in on a break around here.
Yeah, I could just jump in and be like, hey.
You just take over. Pipe in over to my pit party.
People would love that.
I'm
sure of it.
Oh, yeah. It's always great to have another voice, because I started off the show talking about this guy's unpopular opinion. This guy says competitive eating is gross and should not be considered a sport.
I don't know if it should be considered a sport, but it's pretty fun to watch.
I think it's more so a sport than golf.
No.
Like, you want to have an athletic competition, because we know one guy by the name of Michael, right?
Yeah.
He's an avid golfer.
So am I.
Yeah. Well, let's have an athletic competition between me and Michael and see who wins in any event.
I'm just saying.
Any actual sporting event.
It takes some real talent to golf.
He'll beat me in competitive eating. But
he'll beat you in golf, too.
Sure. But that's not a sport.
It is.
That's not an athletic event.
Yes,
I'm talking about, like, let's do a high jump.
Well, that's unfair, Peaches. Come on.
I sucked at the high jump. Did you have to do high jump in PE class in middle school?
Yeah, but
dude, I jumped and I missed the mat. I landed like almost to the left side of the entire pad.
I mean,
it was embarrassing, dude.
And you really want to challenge somebody to a sporting event?
Do you want to see Michael jump?
Kind of, yeah. Sorry, Mike. I want to see you jump.
Nobody knows who we're talking about. I mean, some people.
He'll know.
I don't think he really listens.
Well, that's his loss.
That's his problem. He's the reason why we have the dump button in studio.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
I think he dropped an F-bomb talking to Victor about something.
He would do that.
And sure enough, it went over the air. And
yeah.
There was a whole installation process that took place afterward to get these buttons that came from an old Mortal Kombat arcade machine.
They are the sweetest buttons ever, though.
I've never seen a radio station have these until I came here. Granted, I was at iHeart and they had those giant boards.
Yeah, the big fancy ones.
And it's quite intimidating. It's almost like you're flying a plane.
We'll go into the classy studio. That board's kind of intimidating.
Well, it's the same thing as this one.
Yeah, but it's new and fancy, and there's way more buttons.
There's touch screens.
Yeah.
What's funny is that there are DJs across the country that are having to adapt to those touch screens, those touchscreen boards, and they're also like 60 years old.
And they don't want to do it.
And so they're probably calling it like it's full of gadgets and gizmos, kind of like how my dad did with the his neighbor's car. My parents' neighbor, I talked to Victor about this on the show. Her husband passed away, and so her kids were like, you know what? Let's do something for you. Let's get you like a brand new car. Let's have. They didn't buy it for her. Like, let's go out and go car shopping. And this is how much money she has. She decided to go out and buy a brand new Lexus. And this lady's like 5'0". Why does she need a battleship for a car?
She doesn't.
She needs a Fiat.
Give her something simple.
She needs like what you're driving right now.
That thing is amazing.
That 2008 Hyundai hatchback, the Accent.
Yeah.
She needs
28 miles to the gallon.
I know. The gas mileage is great. Sure.
It's amazing.
The gas mileage in my Santa Fe is awesome. If I'm driving to Salt Lake City, I get 420 miles in that tank.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great. When I drove from Seal Beach to Idaho Falls, moving out here, I had to stop because of my dad driving the moving van. I have to fill up, Brendan. I have to fill up. I'm like, I can keep going.
We're good.
I'm good. I get great gas mileage in that thing.
Yeah, those big trucks don't.
Don't even get me started on lifted trucks. You want to talk about unpopular opinion? Well, here's the thing. I've been thinking about it as of late. I was thinking about getting a truck in the future.
You should.
But here's also the thing. I'm not going to be like Victor, who has to do you ever seen that picture, that video of the short guy trying to get into his lifted truck?
Yeah.
And you hear that boing. That's what Victor's kind of like getting into his truck. He looks like Mr. Magoo.
And his truck isn't even lifted.
It's not, but he still has to jump with 2 feet to get in there.
We should get him a step stool.
He has to crawl in. Yeah, we need to get him a phone book. But if I get a truck, it's like, okay, that makes sense. This big dude needs a big vehicle.
Yes.
But I also don't want to be known as the guy who's, compensating.
Well, yeah, but when you're as tall as you are, people will be like, well, that makes sense. He's just huge. He needs a big truck.
I kind of want to get a minivan instead.
Oh, do it.
Because I drove one when I went to California the last time. That thing has some serious horsepower.
And they're luxurious.
And they have room.
Yeah.
And all my friends had it with me.
Or you could take out all the seats and make it a mini camper van.
We were in the Hollywood Hills and we peeled out.
Yeah.
My friend Jose has never sat in a minivan ever in his life. He was in the back seat. He held on for dear life as I peeled in the Hollywood Hills. Who would have thought?
Minivans are awesome.
Yeah, see, there we go. Unpopular opinion. Minivans are the way to go. Screw the lifted truck.
Get a minivan.
Idaho's only rock station, K-Bear 101. I now am self-conscious about the snacks that I bring here to work with me. I pack my lunch pail in the morning like I'm going to school. I'll have my snacks in there. I'll have my lunches are already in the break room fridge, so I'll just chuck those in the microwave for 4 minutes. And I've talked about on the program about how I'm eating hard-boiled eggs quite a lot now. I'm having like 3 to 5. Why did the music bed stop? What is going on in here? I'm having like three a day, just kind of like as a midday protein intake, I guess. But I talked about it on the show yesterday about how there was that one person in the building that they told me, hey, there were eggshells all over the K-Bear and Z103 studios, all over the desks and the floors. So I felt embarrassed. So what I do now is I do something even worse. I will walk out of this building, go to my car, and sit in there in the driver's seat and bang these eggs against the steering wheel and throw away the eggshells in my little trash can in there, and then eat the hard-boiled eggs in my roasting hot car, just to avoid getting shells all over the floor. So if you're driving down Sunnyside and you see me just downing hard-boiled eggs in my car, mind your business, all right? Here's a tray all for you on K-Bear 101. K-Bear 101, I just found out I've been lied to multiple times. Can you believe that? I've been going on the treadmill quite a lot at the gym. I don't necessarily use the elliptical or the bicycle, the stationary bicycle. No, I use the treadmill, and I walk at an incline of 3, sometimes 6, maybe even 9 if I'm feeling daring. I'll consistently walk at the speed of 3, because anything above that, then I start doing that weird, like light jog kind of power walk movement. I don't necessarily want to do that. There's a guy at the gym that, no joke, like dances on the Stairmaster. I mean, good for him. No judgment here. It's always awesome to see him doing his thing because he's in the zone, he's working out, he's at the gym, you know, and he's consistent because I've seen him every time I've gone to the gym to go on that treadmill, and I intentionally go to the one that's in the front of the gym so I can watch what's it called? The parking lot, I guess. I can be Peach's peeping party on the treadmill, watching people come and go, you know? Sometimes I notice people who go to the gym for like 15 minutes and then they leave. They pretend it was a successful trip. The reason why I say I've been lied to is because this article popped up here. How many calories do you really burn on cardio machines? Turns out those cardio machines are like way wrong when it comes to your calorie count. I mean, it makes sense because people differ. You know, if I do an hour on the treadmill, obviously, I'm going to burn a ton more calories because there's so much to move compared to somebody like, I don't know, Maddie from down the hall who's like 5'3", barely weighs anything. There's that. But where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. Besides that, I've realized I've become a glorified like iPad kid. And the reason why I say that is because on the treadmill, there's really nothing to look at besides the parking lot. I mean, I could stare at the parking lot, or you could you could use the screen to watch a TV show, but then I think you have to plug in your headphones to the actual treadmill itself. Instead, I just hit the Explore Terrain button, and I sit there watching someone walk a terrain of a beautiful place. I see them walk like a beach over in Asia. Super nice. It's calm. It's peaceful. And I'm just walking on the treadmill, staring at this giant screen in front of me, just transfixed on the whole image in front of me. Anyway, here's Sleep Theory Static on K-Bear 101. A perfect circle starless on K-Bear 101. You would know that if you have that cool radio in your car that tells you what song is playing. Or if you have the K-Bear 101 app on your phone, make sure to have that downloaded. It's been updated with a whole new player. It's supposed to be smoother with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so I've been meaning to test that. I do have my little my little dashboard, my little touch screen on my dashboard, I should say, where I can scroll through the apps. And why did the music bed stop again? What's going on? It was doing just fine. I think it's every time that Victor uses something in the K-Bear studio, it messes up. Because I just saw him walk by not that long ago to go towards the K-Bear studio. And sure enough, as soon as I hear the door shut, I'm doing this break, the music bed just randomly stops. I don't think he's intentionally doing it either. He's doing his job, doing his duties. Anyway, yeah, I'll see the K-Bear app. I have the Z103 app, the Throwback 103 app, the Vibes 103 app, because I'm in charge of all those three apps. And so I have those four apps on my phone there. And I've been meaning to click on them and check to see if the player is actually smoother on Apple CarPlay for you to stream us wherever you are. I would think as long as you have an internet connection, you can listen to us there via the K-Bear 101 app. Also, make sure to have notifications turned on because you never know when we might launch our next giveaway. Download the K-Bear 101 app today. What makes someone successful in their career? According to a new interview with best-selling author Jodi Kantor, is that how you say her last name? Kantor. It comes down to two things: finding work that actually means something to you and working with people you genuinely respect. She says, money matters, but the people you work with and believing in what you're doing and are what keep you happy over the long run. If you're looking for a career where you can make a difference, you got to check out HireEastIdaho.com. This week's Hire East Idaho Job of the Week is with Rosemark Women Care Specialists in Idaho Falls. They're hiring a full-time licensed practical nurse or certified medical assistant to join their caring, team-focused practice. Rosemark offers competitive pay, PTO, paid holidays, a 401k, health, dental, vision insurance as well, plus HSA and FSA options. If you're passionate about helping patients and want to work alongside a compassionate team dedicated to women's health care, this could be the perfect opportunity. Apply today at HireEastIdaho.com, and if that doesn't fit you, you'll also find hundreds of other local job opportunities from employers across East Idaho. Hire East Idaho, connecting people with opportunity. Here we go with today's What the Headline. If you're going to steal money from a bank, maybe don't replace it with monopoly money. This bank manager in South Korea is accused of stealing about $45,000 from the vault, trying to cover it up by replacing the cash with fake bills featuring cartoon ducks, bears, and other animals. Literal play money. It apparently worked for a while because hardly anyone ever checked the vault. Can you imagine being the person that finally does check it? Why is Benjamin Franklin suddenly a teddy bear? This wasn't even a sophisticated plan. This was basically like, yeah, you know what? They'll never notice. The bank security system was just like, the honor system. That is today's What the Headline right here on K-Bear 101. Peach's Pit Party right here on K-Bear 101. I find this hilarious now that I'm the program director of Z103. I just saw this get asked on Reddit. What is the most generic current pop star? This is the one time where I'll allow myself to say all of them, except for a slight few. I mean, pop music as a whole is definitely generic. Doesn't take a lot musically to write a pop song. Somebody said if you asked me 10 years ago, I would say Shawn Mendes. He isn't really around anymore, though. I mean, whatever happened to him? Whatever happened to Fetty Wap? I think Fetty Wap went to jail, but now he's out. There's this new guy by the name of Somber. I don't know if you've seen him or not, but if you look at him, he's pretty creepy looking. He's about 6'7" tall. He's very skinny. Very, very, very skinny. And he dances in an awkwardly tall, lengthy way on stage. His music overall, pretty basic. We just added his new song, My Body Isn't Ready, to Z103 yesterday during Victor's morning show. In between the breaks, we were diving into pop music, diving into the new songs added to Z103. I mean, Sabrina Carpenter, she has a lot of songs about, the adult stuff. And I feel like that's okay now. But once she reaches, like, Madonna's age, everyone's going to be like, why are you still singing about this? What are you doing? Taylor Swift, I see mentioned multiple times. Benson Boone, Tate McRae, Maroon 5, Alex Warren. I mean, again, pretty much every pop star that's on the Z103 playlist is listed here on this question. Who is the most generic current pop star? Because pop star as a whole is just generic.
Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.